It's all numbers, and it's like third grade math.
Yeah.
It's not that difficult. You have to understand where you are in the cycle and whether you're going to get short, fast money, medium kind of money, or long range money. If you don't understand that, you can get wrecked. The way I look at real estate is an insurance policy of wealth. I don't want to be the guy that made a lot of money once, bought cars and spent a bunch of money on lavish lifestyle and didn't secure his wealth. That would be my biggest fear. I'm buying a lot of real estate. We have over 400 doors now.
Even with these interest rates you're buying?
Yeah, so because of the interest rates, I'll negotiate the deal differently. I'll give you an example. I bought a deal in Ohio. It was a park, 50 units. I think they wanted 1.2 for it, and we ended up negotiating them down to 800, and then we got them down to 600. The real reason we were able to do that is because I always check and see when their loan's coming up, and I think that they bought that property at a time where the rates were really low. On commercial loans, you have 5 to 7 year, and then you have to refinance. So I knew they weren't in a position to refinance. And so we bought the park very cheap, but then we also got them to hold the note.
What does that mean?
Let's say, for example, I bought a park in Louisiana, actually. It was 60 units, and the guy had a lot of runway on his loan. He had 5% interest rate. So on the offer, I get to pay him the money down, pay only interest, which raises my cash flow, which allows me to fill the other spots on the mobile home park, which brings my value up. He makes this interest during that whole duration, and then I owe him the balance of the sale price. And so he actually makes more money in the end, and he doesn't have a taxable event. But what that allows me to do is take the extra cash flow and make the park worth more money. Back to that deal in Ohio, we bought it for 600. We raised the money for the property, and it's cash flowing like crazy. So what we were able to do is reduce the purchase price enough where the bank debt doesn't really hurt us because it's on a much smaller amount of money. And then we raised the down money, and so we're paying him out a pref on the property. But when you understand how the capital stack works and you do the math and you do your due diligence to make sure the property is doing what it says it's going to do, it becomes a very simple math problem. People get in their mind, like they hear all these crazy terms and words like net operating income, cap rate, debt service, the cycle, all these different things, and it overwhelms them a bit. But once you understand those terms and those words, it really becomes quite clear that it's all numbers, and it's like third grade math.
Yeah.
It's not that difficult. You just must understand it first. It's like net operating income, for example. Net operating income is nothing more than gross profit on the property. It's income minus expenses, boom, profit. Let's call it net operating income. That sounds impressive. You know what I'm saying? Debt service. Oh, you mean how much it costs to borrow the money? I hate to plug, but I'm going to. I'm coming out with a real estate course. Chris Rude and I are going to create a group called Allies, where we teach people everything from wholesaling to flipping to buy and hold single families to buying large commercial properties, and how each of those can show up not only in the life cycle of your career, but also inside a cycle. See, for me right now, I see people building and I'm like, interesting place in the cycle to be building because of the cost of construction debt. Seems like it'd be quite expensive to build right now. And with inflation going the way it's going, who's gonna buy these houses, guys? Where are you doing each individual part of real estate in the cycle? And are you looking into the future to see whether that's gonna work out in your best interest or not? Yesterday I was in the truck with Brad Lee. We're on the way back to the hotel, and he was telling me about this friend of his that he has. This guy has built millions and millions and millions of square feet of storage space, and he stopped building about 2 years ago, and he's seen everybody go flood the market because they saw him stop building as if they thought he was done. No, he wasn't done. He didn't want to build his buildings inside the cycle of debt that has a higher construction cost, higher cost of materials, and a situation where he could build that building and it could sit empty because of where the economy is. You have to understand where you are in the cycle and whether you're going to get short, fast money, medium kind of money, or long range money. If you don't understand that, you can get wrecked. And a lot of people got wrecked in 2008 building too many houses. They had a bunch of houses on the ground. Nobody could buy them. Now we're in a situation where a lot of people's mortgages are good. And so it's not like 2008, but we're still at a certain place in the debt cycle. And so that's what we're going to be showing people how to do in Allies. As far as real estate goes, I think you can always find a way. You might have to change how you attack real estate or what model you're using. But nonetheless, it's always a good time to be in the market, because when it does get good, you're going to have a saturation of those contacts. You're going to be still connected to it. You're going to understand what's going on in the streets, in the neighborhoods, and the interest rates and where things are. For that reason, I think it's always good to be in the market.
Absolutely.
Even if you don't buy as much.